Hello guys, we are here with you with the 9th episode of Lumion tutorial. As you can see, we have a scene from a street, and the scene is similar with the street that we worked on the previous project, with the difference that we showed sidewalks, trees, and some cars inside the street. I want to remind some stuff here that objects like traffic light, when we have it in our project, or this is stop signs, inside Lumion they cast some light, and you can see the screen light or other ones. Now we want to add some vehicles on the street. I will try to use some vehicles from the company called Evermotion that they have higher quality. We turn on the lights like that. Let's add some more cars behind the light. Again, here we turn on the lights as well. Let's add another car with a little distance. Let's change the color, turn on the lights again, and move the car. And we can place a motorcycle between them as well. But here you can find truck, police car, bus, and everything. Let's add a bus on the other street. And again, we turn on the lights. And some of these cars contain passengers, so be careful with the amount of light that you are giving to the car. And in sorted, we can find motorcycle and other type of vehicle, like bicycle and such. We place the motorcycle here. And while we're passing this street, let's add some vehicle in the middle as well, and turn on the lights for these ones as well. We used a police car here before. Now let's check if the lights are on. Yes, they are. Let's use an SUV car here as well, which is passing by. When we remove these people, so there's no problem. You can even use a super sport vehicle here as well. Like that. Now I want to add some pedestrians that are crossing the street. But I prefer to change the placement of this vehicle and this motorcycle like that. And let's select our pedestrian as well. Preferably, let's use 2D people so they have better quality. And pay attention to the way and the side that they are crossing. It's important. And as you can see, we placed some people here that are crossing in different angles. Now let's move to the camera. Let me select something new. And let's find a good angle from this street. We can zoom in or zoom out from this part. I want to see the light of the cars a little bit. Let me change this pedestrians so they have better angle. And again, I will check my camera. Let's do a render test. And as you can see, it's not something super special. We go to custom and we select overcast. The environment is somewhat close to rainy. Let's increase the amount of fog. And at the same time in weather, we have fog, which we add here and we increase the intensity of it. And the amount of fall off, which means how much the fog is sitting on the ground, and the amount of whiteness to the fog. I like to have something rainy as well. And as you can see, as it's raining, and you can see the floor as it's raining, it creates something good, a good atmosphere. Here we select precipitation, and we have two options as rain and snow. When we move to snow, everywhere is snowing, and when it's rainy, and you could choose something in between. but for now I will keep it rainy. The phase that you have here is the moisture on the floor and on the ground, and it shows how much you want of the snow or the rain to sit on the floor. But for now we keep it in the middle to keep it all wet. And in particle quantity, you can adjust the amount of raindrops in the picture. And as you can see here, there's lots of them. And with this one you can increase the size of the raindrops. And if you make this as a snow, like that, you will have big snowdrops and snowflakes. Because this one, like this, we have no rain or snow, but we have a wet floor. And the part of blocked by plants and tree, it will show underneath your greenery and trees how much water or snow is sitting underneath them and how much the plants it's blocking the snow. But we don't need it here, and we can keep it low. And extra fog addition will increase the amount of fog you have in your background, so you can have an additional fog here as well. And look at block bias. It will show underneath your objects or not. And at the same time, with the picture that I'm getting from this part, I want to choose advanced and enable reflections. Let's select some high quality reflections. And we choose edit, and we select the surface that we want to have a reflection on. But on the upper layer, which is only color, probably will not adjust for that. If material on this part, instead of being color, we just place some white color, or we select asphalt in outdoors. We have some wet asphalt, and move the color towards white. The outcome could be a little different. And the asphalt that is here previously get some advantages, which you can increase the details, all glows, and other options. Let's go back to photo mode, and as you can see, it applied some reflection on the white areas. It can adjust the amount of whiteness, but on edit we need to add this white areas as well. I like to add some glows and reflections on this material as well. Now let's see the outcome. I think we could increase the amount a little more. I hope we didn't overdo it, but we need to change the color a little bit towards gray for it not to be completely white. Now it looks a little more decent. And in objects from utility, I will place a reflection control in middle of this area. This reflection control will adjust the reflection in your environment, and you can move around reflection like you want. So with a very simple detail and edit, we can have that. Let me increase the zoom a little bit and move the angle, so slightly. Let's get the shot to see what is the end result. One option that will help us to achieve a very higher quality is in camera, and as I said, you can choose depth of field. For example, I will click on one of the characters or one of the cars. But if you place it on one of the characters, it would be better. And as you can see, nothing happened. You need to turn it on and increase the amount of it. And as you can see, your foreground and your background is getting a little blurred. And the middle area is being showed. Let me test it to see how it is. Again, I can turn it off or just change it. To show the characters in our foreground and block the characters in background. We can increase or decrease the amount of blur as well. One interesting thing, you have foreground and background. Now my background is blur and our foreground is completely fine. Now if we stay on foreground, our foreground will get a little blurred. This could give you a nice balance to make it stay between them or focus on each one of them. And focus distance is being used when you don't use autofocus. And here you can manually choose a focus distance. Here the focus distance is showing people in the back, and you can manually just change the setting. There is another option that is sharp area size. When I click on it, it will show how much transparency you want in your shot. So in sharp area, we show how much transparency we want in our shot. So here we have transparency till the third car. It's like that we are taking a picture with a zoomed lens, but like 42mm lens. And your D-off is completely wide, so you have a picture like that. And as you can see, the scene is a good one. And I can choose, for example, artistic 1, activate color correction. Here, if the amount of light is too much, you can reduce it. So here we have it with another brightness. And you can change the temperature to blue. For example, if it's close to afternoon, and you can increase the amount of blue which says that you're getting closer to the night. So with color correction, we can make it warmer, which means this weather is rainy noon weather, and we can turn it cold, and this is for night. And as you can see, with a very simple movement and something super simple, you can change the pattern of your render, and you can make it day or night. So if you're working on exterior renders or interior renders, in the part that you want to have night in temperature, you can make the environment a little darker and turn it a little blue. And in tint, it will turn it a little green or more to red. And as you can see, I'm considering this shot as a night shot. I will not reduce temperature too much. We keep the tint at the middle. Usually mix blue and red together for afternoon. It will give us a good effect. And use vibrance for the amount of color that you want to have in your shot. So from contrast, I can increase the contrast for my shot as well. Create a dark environment. We can increase the light a little bit. And in saturation, you can increase the density of colors or just take it from them. Sometimes it's good to reduce the amount of colors from environment. And from gamma correction, you can adjust the amount of gamma you want to have in your shot. With a very simple movement, you can make the environment darker or you can light it up. As you can see, the color theme that it's giving you, it's a little different. Here, you can limit where you want to apply your gamma. Usually you don't use these options, but for now, we'll just try them out. Let's move this towards the car and show this side as well. To have an interesting shot with cars as well. Because the quality of cars is really high, the end result is really not that bad. Maybe with an angle that we can see the reflection of the cars on the ground as well, and that makes it even more charming. And look at the end result. Let's reduce gamma a little bit and reduce the brightness. And again, as you can see, the quality is fairly decent. But the main thing that is important for us is the angle for the camera. So we choose a good camera angle. Let's move people around a little bit. and this time we'll focus on the cars. Let's add another car here as well. Let's create a copy from that car and place it here. And this time we want to focus the depth of field on the cars. From a higher angle, something like this. Very good atmosphere. Now let's move to depth of field. And this time I want to focus on this red car. And blur our background. We can do the same thing for foreground as well, with the knowing to increase the sharp areas. We zoom in a little bit. And as you can see, the end result is fairly okay. Well, I'm just trying to show you some effects for this scene that we have. While we select this copy, in this one it will give you like a moving effect to the cars. It's like that your render is moving. Well, I hope you enjoyed this effect and try to work with depth of field and learn how it will work, and these tools that we are working right now. Work with them, try them, and be comfortable with them. And try to work with the same options in your interior design, exterior design to get the results that you want. Now I'm using depth of field to change the environment again and get a render that I want. And as you can see, the environment is completely photorealistic and it's creating a good experience for us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Share the stuff that you practiced and be well.